Well, oil has gone down quite a bit after Trump emphasizes a de-escalation with Iran. There's several different factors. There's the obvious, what is it, the Strait of Hormuz. They're afraid that Iran might shut down the Strait of Hormuz if there is an escalation in tensions between the U.S. and Iran. If they do, the strait is something like 30 million barrels of oil go through the Strait of Hormuz every day. And then there's a second part that a lot of the news corporations aren't going to disclose. I mean, there's many layers to it, but another part is this. War always means profit for places like this. When you go to war, what do you use? You use oil, supply and demand. And war will use millions and millions of barrels of oil, and that makes oil prices go up too. So it'd be a supply and demand, a choke point where I think it's 30 million barrels. I'm sure we'll find out. 30 million barrels of oil a day go through there, plus more supplies. So let's get into this. It's amazing sometimes how politics can affect the economy and vice versa. They are inextricably linked together. Oil prices plunged after President Trump emphasized a de-escalation in the conflict with Iran when he addressed the nation Wednesday. And when they say they plunged, they did lose quite a bit, 4%, but they'd also gone up. I mean, they had skyrocketed when the idea of going to war with Iran happened. As soon as they figured, well, we're going to be 30 million barrels a day less coming in, because if they close the strait, ain't no oil getting through there. And then the demand for oil would go up if we go to war because, well, we need oil to run our stuff. Several other different factors, but those are the two main driving factors, in my opinion. You are always entitled to yours, and I encourage you. Give me a like and a comment and a subscribe and help me beat this YouTube algorithm. That would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, Iran appears to be standing down, which is a good thing for all parties concerned, and a very good thing for the world, the president said from the White House Wednesday. And it is a good thing for the whole world. Nobody wants war. That doesn't serve anybody any good in this instance. It wouldn't do any good. West Texas Intermediate crude oil shed 4.8, so almost 5%, to close at $59.72 a barrel. That's still up from what it used to be not too long ago. So, yes, a 4% drop, but a 4% drop after a nice, huge spike as well. Ahead of Trump's speech, oil was already deeply in the red after a weekly inventory report showed a surprise buildup of U.S. stockpiles. We're using a little bit less oil, and so they had more than what they figured. The supply was higher than what they figured. Wednesday's sell-off marked a sharp contrast from the prior evening. Wow, I have no idea what just happened there. Wednesday's sell-off marked a sharp contrast from the prior evening when the U.S. benchmark hit an overnight high of $65.55 a barrel after reaching $71.99 in overnight trading. That's pretty high. So, yeah, it dropped, but it dropped only after it had gone up. And this article has been open forever. I don't know why these are all popping up now. Of course they are. Because I'm recording, that's why. Iran's attack followed threats of harsh revenge from Tehran as a U.S. strike killed high-ranking Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, who was blamed for masterminding. Yeah, we know. He wasn't just blamed, it was pretty much proven that he was the mastermind of it through his sphere of influence that I've been talking about. Because there were no casualties at the bases, some analysts said the move was an attempt by the Islamic Republic to save face without significantly inflaming tensions with Washington. And I've been saying all along from day one that that's exactly what it is. They need to maintain that sphere of influence that is all important to them right now. And part of maintaining that sphere of influence is being able to go back to their homies and saying, hey, look, I kicked the biggest guy on the block's shins after he made fun of me, so I did that cool thing, so you guys can think I'm cool now, too. Basically. Think of it like playground rules. The same rules that applied when you were on the playground in middle school, elementary school, whatever. Same rules with bullies and how they have to save face or whatever. Everything applies. It's like you're on a playground, but it's real life and it's on a national level. I swear to God, sometimes I feel like this is a playground and these people are bullies and little Johnny hit me and now I've got to... let's see. In past periods of tension in the Middle East, in the past, periods of tension in the Middle East caused oil to spike as investors priced in the possibility that Iran might close the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most important oil choke point, which sees about 21 million barrels. Okay, I thought it was 30 million. I don't know why I thought it was 30 million. Perhaps I saw it on a different report with a different number. Normally that's it, but 21 million barrels, so forgive me for my earlier misspeak, or 21% of the global supply pass through each day. That's huge. That's almost a full quarter of the global supply. So if they did close that strait, it would definitely affect everybody involved. At the time, however, and this is important, the U.S. was a net importer of oil. It is now the world's largest producer, pumping out 12.7 million barrels per day as of November, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. By comparison, it was producing 5.6 million barrels per day at the end of 2010. And a lot of that is due to deregulation. I mean, every solution has its own problems. You want to build up the economy, you deregulate things, you get things that go against the environment, you get more oil, but then you produce more oil and you get more money for the economy. What do you do? You're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If we added more regulation, we produce less barrels of oil, there's less money in the industry, less money overall, because let's face it, the oil industry has its grubbies in a lot of things. When the oil industry fails, a lot of other industries fail as well. When it rises, a lot of other industries rise as well. What do you do? Well, no perfect answer. Let's see. This is interesting here. If this had happened 5 years ago, I certainly think you'd have a very strong argument that oil prices could hit triple digits. But because we're producing oil, and we're producing oil at very large quantities, it's not as much of a hit. Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis woo, at Gas Buddy, told Fox Business' Stuart Varney on Monday. But we've added the capacity of 7.5 million barrels a day versus where we were a decade ago. So we've come a long way, and that's perhaps given the White House's new options to deal with the Middle East. So, oil and politics, inextricably intertwined, along with a lot of other things that might surprise you. But give me your opinions on this one. I'd like to know, and I'd like some engagement. You guys are worth being informed. You guys are awesome. Listen to dissenting opinions. I always say it, but I go online, and I'm a very avid online discusser. I like to discuss politics online with people. And without fail, almost every time, it seems, someone will devolve into personal attacks. Well, it's okay to hear dissenting opinions and come back at them with a reasoned argument. There's nothing wrong with that. But keep it civil. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one.